Did you know Kingsmere hosts one of the largest Royal Navy bases in the country? Kingsmere has a historical past, heavily focused on its military, which is why you'll see tourists visiting just to get a glimpse of the huge Royal Navy ships. The history of Kingsmere's navy spans centuries. In 1588, ships built here defeated the Spanish Armada. In 1805, our people fought in the Battle of Trafalgar. Our naval bases played key roles in both of the world wars. Our naval base has grown over the years into the very structure we see today. So in this episode, we're going to build our very own Royal Navy base. Welcome to Kingsmere, a UK inspired build with a sprinkle of my own creativity. Ah yes, welcome back beautiful people. We're here in Kingsmere. The revived Kingsmere is here again, which is great. And I'm so happy because I've been wanting to do the video that we're doing today for a very, very long time. I'm super excited about it. But before we jump into that, let me just bring you up on a few changes to the map that I've been messing around with. So I've just increased the density around this end slightly, as you can see in this particular corner here. We've got a couple of new buildings just right on this corner piece, just to kind of give it more of a downtown sort of vibe. I think they look really good here. We've made a few adjustments to the roads as well. And then over in here, they've got their very own kind of plaza area, which is great. Buildings look pretty good. We've got all sorts of pedestrian overpasses. Got advertisement on some of these boards as well, which is good. But it all looks really good down here now. It certainly feels more downtowny. And then the same with this little section here. I've just upgraded a couple of buildings on the edge, just to kind of give it that slightly larger city sort of vibe, if you know what I mean. Because it's getting there. It's quite a big city nowadays. We've been working on it for a long time. And I think just upgrading a few of those definitely make a difference to making it look just that little bit nicer, I think. And then down over here as well, we've upgraded this portion just down by the kind of main train station. We've just added some more kind of block of flats. There's been a bit of a redevelopment. We've slashed away some of the old terrace housing and put some slightly more modern apartment buildings, but it just gives it that slight change into nicer sort of vibes, bigger city sort of vibes, because that's what we're going for. This is going to be, we're hoping to take over London. We're going to be the capital city of Britain, or England obviously. So yeah, and then you'll notice over here a bit of a cluster of chaos. So the first thing, well, obviously is the interchange, but we've upgraded these railway lines to 4-way tracks. And then the same with that crosses over and services over here into the train station. The reason that we've done that is just to make it a little bit tidier, and then we kind of got this megalodon-y interchange. And now let's go with the vision, people. So we've got this interchange, and the bottom left, as you can see down here, I think this area we're going to have our kind of main coastal stuff, obviously, because that's where the water is, but our navy base and our port, which will be good. So these large roads coming from that interchange will certainly help ease that traffic. In the top corner here, I'm thinking potentially an airport or similar. I think that would be pretty cool to have. So that's already kind of, well, ready, because we've already got the road ready to head over to it. And then we can just fill in the gaps, etc. As we go along. So yeah, a few changes. Kingsmere is looking beautiful as ever. Oh man, I love it. Just look at that for a picture, eh? Look at that. What a beautiful city. But let's actually build our naval base, shall we? So the first thing we're going to do, because we're going to be using this sort of land here, I know this is labelled Kingsmere Port, we're going to adjust that slightly potentially. We're going to use this as our navy base, and there is a reason for that. But first things, we need to have a kind of a clean sort of canvas for us, because there are a few buildings that we're going to need plenty of space for. I say buildings, props, all of that good stuff. We're going to need the space to make this look pretty good. So we want a nice clear canvas like that. That'll probably do. I'm going to actually just get rid of him for a moment. Now, this part here is key importance because we need to fit a very large ship will dock here. So this needs to essentially be, we can either bring it out a little bit or we can just straighten it up here. I kind of want to straighten it up here, so I think we'll give that a go first. So we're going to do a little bit of terraforming. I'm going to straighten this up, and then hopefully we will have a decent sort of layout for this dock here. Okay, the trees are gone, and I'm just messing around at the moment with kind of a rough stencil of where we want things to be. It's not going to go that deep into the land. The main focus will be kind of like in the initial area here, and then we'll just have developments behind there. But first things first, I need to key this up because quite often when you place these roads down, they don't actually key up at all, which is a bit bizarre, assuming they're like the port roads, but it's not a bother. We can just key them up ourselves like that. That one's already done it. How kind. And then, which side do we do there? Hopefully not the inside. So we are using the port roads. If we don't get on with them, we can change them. But for the time being, we're going to use them. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to try and grab our sea and put it in here, basically. It's not like a simple way of saying it. We want the sea in there, and we want it there now. And then while we're doing this, we'll probably notice some areas that aren't keyed properly as well. So we will deal with those as and when, but that will flow into there like crazy. And then we'll just sort out the edges here as well. Hopefully we don't cause too many problems. We probably will. It's probably going to like flood the entire world, knowing my luck. But here we are. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So if that means we have fun while flooding, fine. So be it. So yeah, we're going to just key all of that out. We're going to do the same just there. And then we'll just kind of smoothen this terrain out. Might need to lower this a little bit because that looks like it's overflowing pretty quickly. Actually, yeah, look how quickly that's flowing in. Why do I have a feeling that that's not going to stay below the line? There's only one way to find out. So it's actually filled in pretty well. The only issue that we do have is this little splodge of water here, and I'm not really sure why it's there because there's no difference around here. So who knows, to be honest with you. But what I'm going to do is going to be very weird. I'm going to start on the outside and then kind of build in. So you're going to be like, oh, this is interesting. Wait, this is such a weird way to build. But I'm going to do it because I need to be able to know what goes where, and then I can place relevant things near it, so it kind of makes sense. But I also don't know why this is doing this. It's really annoying me a little bit because everywhere else seems okay other than that geezer there, and I don't know why that geezer there is not playing ball. So we might just have to allow that geezer to evaporate, hopefully. Maybe, hopefully. Right, anyway, You're about to find out why I've got this long, big dock area, because this is where, well, I'll show you. That is correct, Sunshine. We are going to have an aircraft carrier docked at our port. Kind of inspiration from Portsmouth, I'd say, when they have the aircraft carrier sometimes docked there. So that is kind of the idea. So it's going to be docked here. So because of the way it's made, we need to place it on land, which also it's huge, isn't it? Gigantosaurus Rex. But we want to move this over towards the seaside. Kind of like that a little bit. We'll obviously do some adjustments. And then we're going to just drop it until we think we're at an appropriate sort of level. Which is probably going to be about that height, I reckon. I'd say that's probably a reasonable height. The lowest section of it is kind of dropped down enough. And now we just need to move it so that potentially all of these ropes are near the edge, so it looks like it's docked properly. I mean, it's going to be quite tricky, isn't it? But we could just do it something like that. And then I think what we'll do is we'll move it up this way slightly. I think that looks pretty docked. Does that look docked to you? I think that looks pretty docked to me. No dramas. Seems fine. Good. Well, that's the first geezer, but don't worry. There are plenty more warships to go in here. And we need names for all of these warships, by the way. So put down in the comments right now, we need names for warships. I think there's going to be about 5 or 6 of them. Obviously, we've got the aircraft carrier, which needs a name, which you need to make a name for. We're going to have a few other warships as well. So just put in the comments relevant names for British Royal Navy warships, and I'll start renaming some once I see those. But that's good. First things first, aircraft carrier is down. Now, what would the point of an aircraft barrier be? Aircraft carrier be without any planes to fly off it? So that's why we've got some of these. These are F-18 V5s, according to the host, which look pretty awesome. I just need to quickly Google aircraft carriers so that I can kind of guess where these actually park. So I'm going to do that quickly. Look, I'm going to be honest. I googled the aircraft carriers, and it looks like from all the pictures they're just dumped everywhere, these planes and stuff. So that's kind of what we've done. We've just placed some around the outside. We've got a couple of Black Hawks on there just because why not? I know Black Hawks aren't that British, but here we are. We work with what we've got, and we just want it to be kind of military. So I think regardless of our placement, I think it looks pretty cool. So if you wouldn't mind refrain from roasting me in the comments of saying why are you building a British base with a USS aircraft carrier, F-18s and Black Hawks, that'd be perfect, because if they were British assets, I would 100% use them. But we do what we can with what we've got, eh? Looks like our little puddle has gone though, which is a plus. We love to see. Anyway, did somebody say more ships? Somebody say just eat. Right, the next ship that we have got, which will be resting in this place, is actually the HMS Edward that we had back in one of the OG episodes. As you can see, same boat. Same boat. So we're going to rename that to HMS Edward, because that's who that is. That was tribute for when, literally, I think that was like episode 2 or 3 potentially, maybe like 5 or 6, but whatever. But we're going to have this one perched just on the edge here. Nice little docking station for one of the OGs. And then there are a couple of other boats. So we've got a Type 55 destroyer, which looks absolutely sick. And then we've got a couple of frigates as well, which are slightly smaller than the destroyers. But we're going to have one of these destroyers also placed down just here. About there. That'll be your little docking station. Looks pretty good. I love the look of these boats, man. They look so good. And once we kind of like add this into the whole city, merge it together, it's going to look so cool. I think we will benefit from a couple of frigates, because this is slightly smaller area. So we'll have a few of these frigates placed down here. Oh man, this is cool. I love these assets. They're so cool. Honestly. By the way, if you've noticed any lag, then I'm sorry. Because of the amount of mods and assets that I use, it's starting to lag a little bit. My game is really giving up. And I can't afford a new graphics card at the minute because I got a 370 Ti, and even getting like a 580 or something's like $1,000 and a bit, and I just don't have that cash. So we'll do what we can to try and keep the game going on for as long as we'll survive. But the problem is I just love the custom assets and mods and stuff, so which is kind of why I like using them. That's kind of my play style. So yeah, I'm not sure whether we're going to have that one there or not. Not entirely convinced just yet, because it might be a little bit overkill, if you pardon the pun, given that this is a Royal Navy base. But yeah, looking pretty cool. So we need some names for some of these boats. I'm also going to look see if I can get a small boat or something similar here. But these look so awesome, man. Look at these. This is going to look so cool once we've done it. A proper, like, military place. I've kind of lost words there. But it's going to be so cool. I can't wait. I'm just kind of like prepping the area a little bit. This surface is probably going to change because it doesn't look all that fantastic. But nevertheless, we've added a few like hangars, warehouse sort of things here. And we're going to kind of fill out this block, decide how far out we're going to go, and then we'll kind of like try and detail it with some assets that we might have. I'm not really sure what we do have that we can use, but nevertheless, we're here. We'll make it work. Oh, that's a nice bit of lag there. Thank you very much. Okay, so a few additions. We've got this kind of parade of military vehicle stock that's kind of either just been unloaded or will be loaded on some of the ships, etc., to go wherever it needs to go. So these look really cool. Various armoured vehicles, Humvees, whatever these are called. Somebody tell me, M977, and then like these other armour style vehicles as well. We've got a small helipad section as well with a few helicopters, which look pretty cool. We put a few decals on the floor as well around them, just to make it look a little bit more dirty and grubby, kind of like military you would expect. But that's kind of like the loading area for those vehicles, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with this area down here, which hopefully will end up looking cool as well. But yeah, looking pretty good at the minute. We've obviously got loads and loads to do. This is just like barely even the start, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm deciding to do a couple of changes because I added in these brick buildings, and it kind of makes sense to have them all sort of like similar sort of brick vibe. So I'm just finding these old industrial buildings and potentially going to use these as like our kind of storage places, sort of kind of thing, you know. So we're gonna kind of go with a couple of these because they look kind of old and kind of like what you expect to have when these were kind of active, mainly active. They're all kind of thrown up out of the same old traditional brick. So that's kind of the vibe that I want to maybe go for. So big storage warehouses with that sort of brick color on them, which looks pretty good. I've added in some crates for putting onto the ships or unloading onto the ships, etc. Kind of like that. And we need to just kind of fill in a little bit more down here, really. And there's not huge amounts for us to put in down here. They're slightly smaller, aren't they? So maybe if I just have... I'm just trying to think about how we're best gonna whack this in there. That's all right. That fits there pretty well. I think if we just put that there and then... yeah, maybe just same sort of idea, one facing the other sort of way as well. Kind of like that. And that can again be your old sort of warehouse Just drag that all the way down to here. See what kind of messy spaghetti junction we create there. Draw that in a little bit. Bit of a spaghetti junction, but it's all right. It's not too bad. But we want to kind of have the old sort of vibe continuing. That's the main sort of thing, really, isn't it? I'm gonna get a few more props down here. I'm trying to think what we want. Maybe some trucks, big trucks. Maybe we could have some green camo potentially, or maybe we'll just stick with the desert theme for the moment. Yeah, I think we'll have them lined up facing this way because that's where the most space is going to be. So we'll do that. Obviously they face the other way, why wouldn't they? So let's give them a spinneroo, hopefully. That's a little bit better, slightly spinnerooed. Put a few of those in there. And then I think we'll put maybe like a few crates or similar behind them to kind of make it look a little bit busier. I might get a pack of crates that are all... Where are these things? There's always when I want to find them that they're all the way on the far end of the world. There they are. Maybe a few crates in there. And then we'll just add a few more like little decorations and stuff around it, just to kind of give it the busy sort of idea that it actually should be in use as such. It's just one of those really, isn't it? It's just filling in the gaps and trying to make it look somewhat realistic, but then realizing that you've got zero knowledge of the topic that you're creating on. So hey ho, here we are. But we do what we can, and to be honest with you, it doesn't actually look too bad at the minute. We've got loads to do anyway, so we'll just carry on propping away, hoping for the best. You never know, we might end up with something that looks somewhat cool. That would be pretty nice. Okay, another little update. We've added a few more buildings and lots of props. Loads of props, in fact. So, yeah, as you can see, a few new buildings. So we've added these two, as you saw, but we've got this big kind of hangar warehouse sort of thing. And then a few vehicle storage yards with various different types of vehicles. Just kind of prepping to work or be loaded or do whatever. Which looks pretty cool, and it kind of fills in that space a bit as well, so it makes it look a little bit nicer. But it's starting to look like it should actually be here now, which is great. I don't intend to push this far back, so I'm just trying to think of a way of how we can kind of close it off just around, kind of like corner to corner, and then fill in those gaps, work on a nice little entrance and stuff as well, which would be good. But yeah, that'll just be one of those things that we've got to test out and see how we're gonna kind of sort this out. So I think we'll probably have a road go up here. Yeah, maybe a road go up here, fencing along there, and then I don't know where to put our entrance. That is the main thing, so we're gonna have to figure that out. I'll mess around and see what we can kind of come up with, but it's looking pretty cool. Certainly looks pretty cool. Yeah, proper military sort of base vibes there for our Kingsmere, which is cool. We also need a name for the base, so that's another thing to add to the comments: a name for the base as well as a name for the ships. I think something like that will do for our kind of perimeter. I think that seems relatively reasonable. It's not too big, but it kind of flows relatively nicely. And then you can imagine the old sort of town on the outside. Well, not really old town, but some sort of town there. You know what I mean. It is what it is. So yeah, we're going to... what we're going to do, actually. We're going to think We're going to find an entrance, is what we're going to do. We're going to decide where we want. The obvious place would be here with the road connected, but it could also be here, a slightly wider road. It could also be here to make this junction even more weird. So yeah, we'll find an entrance and then go from there, I think. Okay, we have ourselves a gate. It's a port auxiliary gate, so I'm not sure if it's actually even going to work as a road for people to get in and out, but it's kind of a 2 in, 1 out asymmetrical road on the way in because it's 2 in, 1 out. I'm hoping that that will actually allow vehicles in and out. You know what I might do? I might just quickly hook it up to a road just to see. That's so bad. Just to see if it actually works. So I might just see if anybody starts cruising down here, and then we'll kind of get an idea of whether we need to change it or not. Well, there's a few trucks leaving, so it must be working, which is always good to see. So yeah, I think that will be fine. So let's ruin their days and delete the road. And there we go. Cool. So that entrance will work. Obviously, we're going to decorate that and make it look like a proper entrance. But yeah, that's at least something that'll work. So I was having a mess around with objects, and this cargo train terminal fits perfectly in this gap, pretty much. Nearly. But it's as good as you're going to get, kind of thing. So I'm tempted to actually try and get some use out of it, because it doesn't autosave. It doesn't look too out of place. So if I could run like a small little line out of here, I might actually have a good time. So let me see if I can find like a small track and see if this would actually connect up. Okay, it would go through, which is always a good sign. We just need to think about where we actually want it to go, which is probably, well, there somewhere, but we need to think about like whereabouts it's going to head to. I mean, we could always just start to raise it up a little bit about here. That looks quite raised, doesn't it? And then see if we could just maybe have a nice little line that kind of just goes round and then into our... or do we want it on the floor? We might want it on the floor. I'm undecided with this, actually. I mean, it would be useful to have it in the sky, so it would cause less road disruption. But it might also look pretty cool. Or maybe if we lower it. Oh man, there's so many options I just can't decide. What a hard life I live, eh? Well, I mean, if we do that... No, you know, I might actually leave it on the floor, and then we'll make it as difficult as possible for everything else to survive and get around it. I think that'll make sense. Let's do that. So let's have you come out here as before. We're going to want you to probably curve round into here and then form a nice triangle. In order for us to do that, I think I might make this nice and sunken. So I might grab whatever this is, 3, and make it -10, because why wouldn't you want it as -10? Kind of like that. And then we want to slope that from here to here, and then maybe from here to here. hopefully that will allow our train line down and underneath. Just like that, maybe. Oh, it's a little bit too low, isn't it? But let's grab the road and bring the road over and then see how that is feeling with our current setup. So let's grab that like that. It looks like it's floating. It's obviously running the wrong way. And we'll just need to elevate that as well because it looks a little bit skew-if. So let's boom, boom, elevate you, get rid of you and you. So that elevates that over here, and that is just too low in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so that was -10. Let's put that as -7 underneath here. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll actually have it go all the way back. Yeah, and then we'll grab that there, and we'll actually have a nice long slope all the way back. And then we'll probably do the same over here, push this out even more. And again, have a nice long, oh, silly me, a nice long slope from there all the way to about there, which will hopefully make it look less weird. Down to here, down to here, and then hopefully out the other side without too much problem. I mean, it's still low enough, isn't it? Way low enough. So yeah, I think that'll be fine. We'll just close in the gaps slightly like this, and then on this side as well, soften the terrain a little bit. That might have been a little bit too much, but it does the job. It does the job. Yeah, it's fine. We'll decorate it, and then we need to actually curve this around to here somehow. Probably sooner rather than later, actually. So we might have to grab this little train line from here. We're going to want... Oh man, this is really annoying. Because we want this to be able to link up to this, because that runs cargo all the way from the top. It could work. I mean, it hooks up, but at what cost? We are looking pretty good, actually. Let's have a little look to see what we've done. Obviously, I need to add some floor decals to make it look a little bit more disgusting. But nevertheless, we've added a few more buildings around the edge here. As you can see, sticking with the theme, which is good. We've got another little watchtower just on the edge here with a couple of you know what I mean, these things. A few of those there. Then we've got a few different types of warehouses, trucks, all that good stuff, all within the perimeter of the base, which again, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm quite happy with the way that it looks at the minute. We've got this triangle-ish to use, and then once we've filled that space in, we'll start building the security, I guess, the fencing, you know, all that good stuff to make it nice and secure, or as secure as we can make it, given that it's a game and nobody's actually going to try and get in there, and even if they do, nothing's going to happen. But you know, we'll do our bit. So we're going to fill in this corner. Once we've got that corner in, we're going to put the decals and stuff down on the floor, and then hopefully we should be bowling. Okay, I would say interior is, well, the main bits are complete. I would say that there is detailing to be done, which will be the next step. I think we'll do a little bit of detailing on the inside, and then we'll start working on our external stuff. But looks pretty cool. I'm very happy with that now. It's not too big. It's just kind of the right sort of size. It's not too overwhelming. It looks pretty cool. Let's zoom out. I think that's pretty cool, actually. I actually do. I think that fits the theme of the city pretty well, given the history of the city. And obviously once we fill in like the gaps and stuff out behind, yeah, it's going to look pretty cool, I think. I think that looks fantastic. Let's have a little look. Yeah, pretty good. Got loads of details here. So all of our props, vehicles, looks so cool, man. So cool. I've been wanting to do this for ages, and when I realised that Kingsmere wasn't working anymore, it very much upset me, because it was kind of the only map that I could really do this on. But yeah, looking pretty good. I love the variation on the ships. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Happy with that. Look at that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And it kind of just works. It's like your typical military base. It's inspired by Portsmouth. It's not just mainly because their naval base is kind of right next to the city centre kind of thing, or at least where these main shopping district and stuff. But that's got a museum and stuff attached to it as well, and they sometimes have the aircraft carrier land there. So yeah, I really do like the way that looks. But we've got loads of detailing to do, but it just adds like something else, another layer to the city, which is pretty cool to see. Really like it. So within here, I'm going to just add a few fences and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, to be honest. There's not even much fencing to be put down on the inside. Yeah, to be honest, I might just go straight for the outside, you know, and start trying to make this look like a proper fortified, secure premise. So it looks cool, man. It looks really cool. Right, yeah, let's start on the outside. So for the inner perimeter wall, which will basically run alongside our internal roads, I'm going to go with these walls here because they've got a little bit of brick, but they also look a little bit menacing at the same time. So I think that's what I'm going to use for the initial perimeter around here. And then we'll have another one with basically pure barbed wire fence sort of vibes, you know what I mean? So that'll be the plan initially. So we just got to try and hope that we can do this. Oh, mate. There we go. Right. We want... Is it even... I don't think this snaps to the road, does it? But it looks okay. We just need to... I guess we're just going to have to kind of try it ourselves and see if we can make this work. Which is a little bit annoying because it is going to be a very skew if. Especially not being able to link it up really well. So like, especially like this bit here. We'll have to move it. But I think it's a decent looking fence and I think we can work with it, so we'll stick with it and see how we get on. Like that. Oh, that didn't go to plan, did it, son? Want a nice curve, please. Okay, that looks better with the fence around it initially, which is good to see. We fenced it all off, so it looks pretty good. I would like another sort of layer of security here, which, yeah, I'll figure out how I'm going to do that. But I would like an extra layer because it's quite a big old place, isn't it? It might be the case that I just extend the surface out a little bit and have like a little checkpoint or something similar, but we will see. So we're going to start working on the entrance here. We're going to have these big old boys with gun turrets perched up just on the edge of each side, just to give you like military entrance sort of vibes. We need some kind of gates so that we can pretend that it's secure, which we just need like the parking gates really, something like that. Maybe out the front. Is there a double? And that's a single. I mean, we could probably get away with that and that. I'm sure there's another one. I think we'll just stick with this, to be honest. We'll put that there, that there. I mean, technically that's just one there, one there, and then we can act like it covers all lanes, which would hopefully do the job. Just move you slightly back and out. Move you slightly back and out. What we'll do is we'll just line these up like that. That seems okay. Next on the list for our gate is, will it be CCTV? Will it come up with that? Oh, no. Camera? Come on. Yeah, security cameras. We need lots and lots of these. I'm just having a look at the best ones for us. I think these here, as if they're like scanning the lanes and the number plates. Maybe one of these here and here, and then we could potentially have, we just want it to be like super secure. I also don't want to go too silly because they're like number plate readers. These are 360 viewable cameras. We'll have one of those there. One of those there. Is there a security sign here? Yes. We'll put CCTV sign here. 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 One there. One there. Okay, we're doing well. We're doing well. Camera portal rail. What on earth is that? Oh, I guess they're like security booths, aren't they? Very cool, very cool. Anyway, speaking of booths, we want those little parking booth things, these things. And we'll probably have them. Where do we want them? Do we want them slightly out, like this? Or do we think that's too far in? Maybe we'll have them one at the side there, and one at the side there. Cool. We'll have a little hut here for our security people. Like that. And then we need to go into here because there should be some pretty firm barriers to encourage people from trying to ram their way into us. So one there. Whoa, DHL, slow it down. He was sending it. Honestly. Start to think this place is a little bit dangerous, given all this security, and DHL just sending it. Something like that. Yeah, I think that's alright. And similar sort of idea just here. All the way through. Make this nice and secure. I don't know how that gate's going to close, but that sounds like a problem for the gate man, not me. That goes pretty far in, to be fair. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of that just to prevent any ramming. Make it nice and fluorescent so that people know that they're there to hopefully change their decision on trying to send it through. What else have we got that looks fun? I could put these down here to separate the lanes a little bit, or cones. Maybe we'll do cones down here. Well, they're very close together, aren't they? What about that? No. What about that? Yeah, that'll do. No. Why are you so close together, sir? There we go. That's more like it. And we just want them just like that. Oh man, it looks like chaos to get into there, doesn't it? Absolute chaos. I mean, they're still going in pretty well, to be honest. Of course, the taxi uses the big lane, but it looks more secure than it did before. We could do with some decorations and stuff on the road to get people to chill out. I'm just trying to think what we would. We could have this big thing here. That would be cool. Like, I can't even get it straight. There we go. Boom. Pretty cool. There. Okay, I might just put that there. I mean, that's not straight in the slightest, is it? Let's replace you. That's probably as good as we're gonna get, to be honest with you. There we go. That'll do. There's got to be some more decals here. Is there a stop one? Stop one would be great. Of course there isn't. Why would there be? Boo! I might have to draw my own. I mean, that looks as secure as it's probably going to get for the entrance, to be honest. We've got loads of stop signs, loads of decals, lots of police booths, CCTV, loads of stuff going on here, and I think that's probably as good as you're going to get. Obviously nobody does stop, because why would they? Autosave. But nevertheless, it looks like a secure entrance, which is good. Good to see. The next thing that I'm working on is just a slight perimeter around the outside, mainly for kind of patrols along this pathway, and then we'll secondary fence it as well, just to kind of make it a little bit more secure, because it's not really that secure at all, to be honest with you. But hey ho, here we are. I'm tempted to pretend these are proper, I don't really know what to say, like security towers. We'll just put these here, because obviously this is very much a weak point, so it'd be quite nice to just have kind of a little watchtower as such on the edge just there. We'll do the same down in this corner, just move it slightly like that. We're not going to go too overkill with these, although they would be helpful, just because it might look a little bit silly, and this is Britain, it's not like the world's most dangerous place. Yeah, they're a bit big for that, aren't they? So I think maybe one around this corner as well. Just like that. Just draw it in a little bit like that. And it just kind of gives that false sense of security that it is actually a secure place when we all know what happened at Prize Norton. Hey ho, moving on. So yeah, I'm gonna put a surface in here, probably like riverbed thin or thick. Put some fences around it, and then hopefully that will kind of box it off relatively nicely. Oh man, this looks pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. Let's have a little look at what we've built. So, zooming out, it looks pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty cool military base, Royal Navy base. Love to see it. Remember, obviously, you need to name the ships and name the base, but it looks pretty fantastic. So we've obviously got the aircraft carrier with all of the various props around it. A few other ships here, which all look really, really cool. Our nice cargo station. Going through here again, looking pretty cool. Just your standard sort of stuff in here, nothing too mental, but still looks pretty good. Let's actually look at the size of this ship. If we're on ground level, it's a bit of a beast, isn't it? It is pretty huge, and it looks so awesome. Let's see how large it is. Whoa, it's a whopper. Yeah, cool, man. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an awesome base. I really like it. We've got our vehicle loading bay here, which looks cool. Helipads. I think that's come together really, really nicely, actually. And then just showing you the perimeter. We've just got a perimeter pathway around the outside, a few bushes, and then a double-up fence, a couple of watchtowers here and there. But yeah, it's a pretty cool looking base. I'm really, really happy with how that's kind of come together. But the next question will be, what are we going to build behind it? Autosave. What are we going to build behind it? Because we've got so much land, it's unreal. And obviously the military base is awesome, but we've got loads of land. We need to connect up to the town where St. Paul's is as well. We've got loads to do, but yeah, this is pretty incredible looking place. So I'm really happy with how that has turned out. Yeah, there's loads of stuff. It's almost like we've opened a new chapter because we've got all of this massive infrastructure now. Airport probably over there. We've got this road here which could go to like an actual port potentially, a cargo port rather than a military base. This land here, what do we want there is a different question. Don't know. Yeah, we'll have to figure that one out. I'll be looking at the comments section for inspiration and ideas. So if you've got an idea, put it in there and I will have a look. But this is what we've done today. Looks fabulous. Really happy with that. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope you're enjoying the fact that Kingsmere is back, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Good night.